All right. So my name is Wes Davis. I work for Bogart Pederson in Becker, Minnesota, in Sherburne County. And I had written an article a little while ago regarding how to utilize GIS as a township, just to kind of uh, do some asset management and some communication across, between the clerks and the town board and even the residents. So I'll kind of get started here because I got quite a bit. So for today's agenda, or this presentation's agenda, will be, how can GIS be a useful tool for townships? Where can we get data and shape files? That's what you see on the screen there, in terms of your borders and your railroad and your different roads and lakes and parcels. And then I'll do a little demonstration on how you can utilize some of that data to show some useful information, or how you can apply it to project planning and certain things like that. And then I'll open it up to questions. And during the presentation, if there's any questions, please feel free to ask. So how can GIS be a useful tool? As a township engineer for several townships, a lot of what is getting more refined is asset management, especially during the auditing process. So getting up to date on your inventories for your roadways and getting on top of ratings, which in turn helps develop your capital improvement program. Your signs, there was the, everyone's working towards upgrading their retroreflectivity, or eliminating the number of signs that are in a township, especially the ones that studies show aren't effective. Seeing a lot of inventories of culverts, just to get an idea of, where the culvert's located, what are the materials, what's the size, and considering that in terms of project planning as well. The capital improvement program, going out there and rating your roads and developing, your 5 to 10 year plan. You can organize all that data in QGIS, which is really helpful to get a visual on it, and then provide visuals too for the report and for the residents at meetings, so they can kind of see where they are on the docket for having their road reconstructed or rehabbed. We use it for township issues. So if we get a call on, a tree is down, or having trouble seeing the stop sign, or maybe there's a head wall in a driveway that is considered a structure within the right of way, we're able to put a point on the map and indicate what the issue is and attach a photo. And everyone in the township, the clerks, the engineers, the maintenance, the board members, they're able to pull that up on their phone or on the computer and see where that point is, so that it can be addressed. And then once it is resolved, you can attach a finished photo to that same point, so you can see what the initial issue was and how it was resolved. We also use it for permitting. So we do a lot of driveway permits and utility permits. And there is a busy season, so it kind of helps to have them located on a map, and then indicate, whether it needs to be inspected for turf establishment or proper construction, whether it passed or whether it failed. And everyone is on the same page on that information, so you are able to get a hold of the owner of the driveway or the utility company for the utility permit. And then the township correspondence, kind of touched on that earlier, where you're making these issues or this information open to the whole team, the clerk, the maintenance department, the engineer, and the board members. And that information is accessible by everyone very quickly after changes. So resources, there's a couple of GIS programs out there. There's a popular one by Esri that is paid, and I think it's I saw some prices like $1,500 a year, and then maybe a monthly subscription to the phone mobile application. I'm a big fan of QGIS. It's an open source software that is free. So, if you're at your town hall, the clerks are able to download this program for free at the town hall and start, working on inventories and asset management. And I provided a link, and I think this presentation will be posted, and then I also provided a PDF for people to have a copy of as well. So there's a link where you can download QGIS, and then the input merge in. Input is the app for the mobile, and that's what communicates between the computer and your phone, so you can see the mapping and the information. Excuse me. There's a lot of free GIS data out there. I provided some examples here. Minnesota Geospatial Commons. There's a lot of useful information or shape files available there. The county where I'm located, Sherburne County, offers a lot of information on their open data site. So if I want road center lines, I can get all of the roads in Sherburne County. I can get all the township boundaries and the municipal boundaries. I can get sections, lakes, rivers, and that sort of information. And just for example, I provided some other sites like Stearns, Mille Lacs, Benton, and some counties don't offer it for free. Some offer a price per parcel or a price per month for download. It just varies depending on the county that you're located in. So getting started, you download the program, you get the data that you would like. Just kind of examples here, road boundaries, parcels would be a good place to start. And then I'll kind of go through how to add it. And a thing to note here is styling it takes a lot of time to make things look right, because when you first download it in, it's just going to be lines or one solid color, and it takes some time to kind of break it down and make things look right. So it is a process, and it does take some learning, but at the end of it, you're going to have information that's very easy to understand. So before the demonstration, should I open it for some questions right now, or just wait till after the demonstration?
Whatever you want.
Okay, I'll just kind of dive in to the demonstration. So here is Sherburne County and the GIS information that I pulled from there. And I've done quite a bit of styling already. I'm focusing on one specific township, Becker Township. And I'll just kind of run through an example of what it looks like when I pull in fresh information. And I'm kind of going to click on a bunch of things, and I am more than willing to walk you through how to do all of this. Just for the sake of time, I'm kind of going to breeze past this a little bit. But so, for example, I'm going to bring in the road centerline shapefile into this project. Let's see. So let's see here. So you can kind of see it's a little bit light, but if it were, black, you can kind of see, well, it's just a bunch of random lines. And So you kind of have to take some time and style it right. So after styling it, you get this for, so I made the higher traffic roads like the US highways, the state highways, the county roads a little bit thicker. And then the township roads are a little bit thinner. And just kind of providing some examples of what this can do. You know, say I want to be able to easily see all township roads. You're able to break down the information. There's a state system called a route system, which provides a number for each type of roadway, and township roads are 8. So if I take the township road and I make them red, I make them easy to see, I make them thicker. There, now you can easily see where your township roads are within the township. Expanding that a little bit further, you know, say you go out and you do your annual road tour and you assign a rating to each of your roads. Well, now you can color code your rating from best to worst and get an idea of, you know, a color scheme for your roads. And now this road is, we can see is in a condition where we might want to start considering a reconstruct, as well as this little section here. Some yellow, maybe we can look at doing some preventative, maybe an overlay, maybe some minor maintenance like crack sealing or chip sealing. And then the green ones, we know that we just have to keep on the maintenance, and then, you know, look at an overlay maybe 5 years down the road. Just some other examples of good uses. We do a lot of permits, so we are able to assign a different shape depending on the permit type. So like a driveway permit would be a shape and a utility permit would be a different shape. The color blue means it needs to be inspected. Green means it passed, so you can release the retainage, and red means it's failed, so you have to contact the owner and express, you know, how to get the permit passing. And pictures can be assigned to each one of these points as well. Another example would be culverts. So if you survey all of your culverts, you can pull certain information to see what is going on there. So for example, I will say I want to know visually what the size is. So I can add a label that relates to the size. And I have it color coded to indicate the material. So a certain color is metal culvert, a certain color is concrete culvert. And then now I can see what size it is. This is a 24-inch culvert, 18-inch, 18-inch. And, you know, perhaps there's an old culvert that's less than 18 that you want to look at implementing into a plan to replace and up the size to your township standard. So that would be the culvert example. Also a side note is you can add imagery and get an idea of where your culverts are located. So for this example, we know that this is a culvert underneath Philly Trail that's 24 inches. And we can kind of pull different information. We also did a sign survey. So this indicates where all your signs are in your township. Say I want to see where all our stop signs are. I can, you know, pull based off the sign code. I can classify all these different ones. I know that R1-1 is a stop sign. So I just change that symbology to represent a stop sign. And then now you have a visual representation of where all your stop signs are. The final kind of example is reports. So this would be the reports within that you want to communicate between the board members, the clerk, the maintenance department, the engineers. And I just kind of have this red starburst to kind of pop out. And then I have an option where you can assign someone to that task. So I can kind of look and see. This is called an attribute table. I know it's a lot of information, but this is what shows you all the information about this point. So say I'm interested in this point right here. And I can see that this is a mowing issue that hasn't been resolved yet. I can maybe turn on the imagery and get an idea of, you know, what it's associated with. So it looks like maybe it's associated with, it's a right-of-way issue. So whoever's assigned to that task knows where it is, who's assigned to it, and what the issue is. And again, you know, you can attach photos. So these photos are attached and they are stored on the local drive. So you'd be able to open up the pictures and see what the picture was taken of. So I know I kind of flew through that, but I really just wanted to provide, you know, some opportunities for GIS to keep track of, you know, certain operations within the township, such as driveway permits, utility permits, road ratings, culverts, sign inventory, and implementing some system where you can convey information across your team fairly quickly and fairly easily. So I see the chat here. I will go back to my presentation and open it up for questions.
Thanks. Yeah, there's one in the chat and two in the Q&A.
Okay, so
in the chat, you want to read them?
Yeah, I can do that. Yep. So the chat, do board members have access to maps, inventories, and reports? Does the public, David? So the board members would have access to all the maps and the inventory and the reports. And you know, my suggestion would be to use that information to generate printed maps or maps that you can post to the website available to the public. So I know I'm kind of backtracking here, but you know, say we want to see what road projects, you know, people are interested in what road projects are happening in 2022. So I can, you know, say these roads, this road, and that road. I can easily export those selected features as, you know, 2023 projects, and then assign that, you know, I'll kind of go a little crazy with, or, you know, sorry. So like, say I wanted to make that a little bit thicker. There, now you can see the purple roads are slated for 2023, printed out on a map, posted on the website, or have it as handouts in the town hall, and you're able to portray that information to the public as you wish. Let's see. So the next question.
What is a typical fee for someone to help with a plan and capital improvements? Who can we ask?
All right. What was that question again?
This is from Denise. What is
Oh,
a typical fee for
sure.
someone to help with the plan and improvements?
Sure, yeah. So the typical fee, it depends on what you're wanting. You know, at the very basic level, you could just have a rating done for all of your roads. And then develop a plan from there. And it's on, you could ask any engineer, or I know some towns are asking their road supervisors to do that. But I've seen anywhere from, you know, maybe $5,000 to $10,000 to do all those inspections. The kicker is you're already going to be driving on all of your roadways to get the rating. So you might as well grab the signs that are on those roads, as well as any centerline culverts. And that's really a personal choice between each township board. But you can ask, you know, any engineering firm should be able to do it. I know that, yeah, we do it for our clients. So do we need to enter the inventory of the signs, et cetera, or are they populated with the GIS program? So how we typically do it is we'll send a survey crew out there. So they'll shoot the location of the sign and then input all of the information, and then you'll get an Excel file essentially. And with the coordinates in that Excel file, you're able to bring that right into QGIS, and that'll be populated on whatever coordinate system that you're using. So like in Sherburne County, you know, we'd be using Sherburne County, Minnesota, US foot. Yes. So is all of Minnesota typically using same data or map projections? Each county has their own coordinate system. And there's some correlation, like the imagery is on a different coordinate system, but they match over. The big thing is just making sure that your initial project file and your survey file are in the same coordinate system. Is there a good fee? Oh, a good free app, easy for public to notify issue by just add point and comment. So send to appropriate government. Yep. So we are working on a link like that. I know we're utilizing like do forms, which creates a GPS point for the public to say, well, here I have this issue, and then it creates a report. And creating that link between the public input and putting it into the GIS, I know that's possible. It would just take a little bit of coding and a little bit of work to make it easy for everyone to use and secure. Our Soil and Water lobbied for a grant and mapped all the culverts, approaches, ditches along with elevations, as well as locations in every township. This mapping system is available to townships at no cost to townships. Please consider this approach as well. Absolutely. Like I said, there's a ton of useful data out there that you can pull into your GIS file for you know, a lot of agencies offer it for free. So in this case, you know, if that information is available, then you could bring that in. I know some townships, one requested that they wanted all their driveway culverts shot. They didn't have too many miles of roadway within the township, but they wanted the driveway culverts identified and located. All right, so thank you very, very much for your time. I know that was.
Was there one more that came in the chat? How accurate is the satellite data? Or did you answer that one?
Not yet. Let's see. How accurate is the satellite data to upload points through the GIS program out in the field? So if it's for a good rule of thumb for GIS, and I think I mentioned that in the article, is you know, these shape files that you get like parcels, any kind of boundaries. They are accurate to a degree, but not legally. If you're ever going to do any work or provide any information that is legally binding or legally described, I would absolutely recommend having a professional surveyor shoot that. But pulling areas off of satellite imagery, that's never going to be legally descriptive. Mostly it's just for visual information purposes and being able to create and maintain a database of large amounts of information such as signs or road ratings in a visual way. So I guess.
And then there was one more question about which county was Jackie talking about? And Jackie was talking about Morrison County that has a very interactive mapping system. So thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you. And if there's any questions, don't hesitate to reach out. I know I threw a ton of information out there in a short amount of time, but I'd be more than happy to walk you through any questions.